this. Are we still together? Is this helping anybody yet? In the midst of it all, Job gets a revelation. I know I'm right. I know it's still jacked up all around him. I know it seems like everything is falling apart. I know it feels like he's still walking through hell. I know it still looks like all the water is coming down on him, like the flood's about to overtake him, like the fire's about to burn. I know that's what's going on because the first word in verse 9 is but. Nevertheless, yet, in the midst of everything that's going wrong, I got revelation. Listen to what he says. He says, yet, nevertheless, but the righteous. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there because I want you to know that everybody can't handle this. If you know, I know it's not you. It's not you, but you know some people. You know some people who just go to church just to get it over, who have no intention on changing their lifestyle. You know some people like that who are in the ministry and want to be the chair because they can't be in charge nowhere else. You know some people. You know some people like that. It's not you. I know. It's not you, but people who know all the scriptures, who sing all the songs, who know church decorum backwards and forth, who know the politics of the church like the back of their hand, but they ain't much stuff about the Lord. I know it's not you, but you know some people like that, don't you? But he points out the righteous. This is a special group of people, the righteous. That's not your average everyday church goer. The righteous is not the one who's just satisfied to have their name on the roll. In fact, I would tell you the righteous don't care if their name is on the roll. The righteous don't care if they have a good funeral in the church. The righteous are not so much concerned about whether or not they skipped something in the order of worship. The righteous don't care so much about the politics. The righteous, like we talked about earlier, are the ones who are glad that they are saved. You can have all of that other stuff. I'm just glad that I'm saved. Can we keep going? The righteous sisters and brothers are those people who recognize that God blesses them, so they want to be a blessing to somebody else. Let me see if I can put it another way. The righteous are those who recognize that God gives life, so God gives me life, so I got to turn around and give life to somebody else. That's the righteous. I see you still looking at me like I'm a little strange. The righteous recognize that every time he pours into me, then I will in turn pour into somebody else. Can we keep going in here? The righteous are a special group of people because these are the people who will not let you take their courage from them. They will not be discouraged in the midst of it all. They will still hold on. Can I tell you about the righteous? The righteous will not deny the reality of their situation. In spite of it all, I'm going to keep on blessing somebody else. In spite of it all, I'm going to keep on giving life to somebody else. In spite of it all, I will still stand strong in the name of the Lord. In spite of it all, I will admit that it's bad. Yes, but God is stronger than anything that the world could bring my way. Are we still together? Let's see. The righteous sisters and brothers are those people who understand that even though it may not be what you want it to be, God is still able to deliver you from whatever comes your way. Job says, but the righteous are those people who in the midst of it all, yes, first of all, take an introspective look within and discover where they are in the situation, because you do know that it's not always everybody else's fault. Miss Helen, I knew they were going to get quiet right there. And so the righteous take the time to see, what role did I play in getting myself into this situation. Because can we tell the truth in here? Sometimes the trouble that come our way is the result of our own bad decisions. Don't raise your hand too high, but there are some people today who are dealing with some things based on decisions that you made a long time ago. And it is still it's still a situation in your life today. And so the righteous say, listen, I've got to see what it took to get me here. Not only so, and this is where I've been trying to get you, the righteous are the people who, no matter what their situation looks like, they keep leaning forward. I don't want you to think that this issue of leaning forward is all about body position, the way you place your body. But in fact, this issue of leaning forward is really about the way you think. You better make sure your neighbor's not asleep. Because if you haven't noticed by now, it may not be your personal storm, but we have a situation on our hands. You're still sleeping on me, so I don't know if you noticed by now, but we live in a time where partisan politics have become so prevalent in our society, that it seems like two people who ought to know better and know how to get along, can't even agree on what to do on the simplest of things because they're so busy trying to make sure that they keep the favor of the people in their corner. Have you noticed, sisters and brothers, that we have a situation on our hands with those who sit in seats of power, those who want to make decisions that will affect your life and my life? Think about it. We got one that kept his baby mama in the same house that his wife was living in. We have one who refused to pay his jewelry bill, and we got another one that's taking pictures of his private parts and sending it across the world, and they call us ghetto. We got a situation on our hand. Have you checked it out while we sitting in church looking all prim and proper and pious? We have brothers and sisters who are walking up and down the street who don't know not only where their next meal is going to come from, but where they're going to lay their head. And yet we live in a time when the government, those who are supposed to be helping those who can't help themselves, we live in a time when the government, sisters and brothers, seems to want to sweep the elderly and the poor and those who and the handicapped under the rug as if they don't exist. And if we can't blame the government because the church is just as bad, because we want to lift up holy hands and shout hallelujah without putting our minds to work to come up with effective policies and strategies that will clean up the neighborhoods. I got one for you, baby. Government don't want your neighborhood to be clean. If it's going to get clean, you got to do it yourself. Somebody say, do it yourself. We have a situation on our hands, and this is not the time for the mealy mouth. This is not the time for the cowards among us. This is not the time for those who will shrink back, but in fact, this is the time for those who will. I think I got some folk working with me right now. Listen. To lean forward, sisters and brothers, as I told you, it means that you don't deny the reality of your right now, but you have enough audacity and nerve to look beyond your right now. You got to look at this situation, sisters and brothers, and see that it's bad right now, but with God on our side, if we put our heads together, if we can put aside our differences, if we have nerve enough to lean forward together, then we can make a change around us. Yesterday, had a funeral for a beautiful woman who lived 79 great years. You should have heard the testimonies about this woman, Reverend Craig. But the one thing they said is she was the seamstress for seemingly everybody in Zachary. She sold clothes for everybody. All right. Are we together? And so we were able to make the analogy that this woman was able to look at a piece of cloth that everybody else would have walked past. A piece of cloth that looked like nothing. But when she looked at it, she saw a prom gown. When she looked at a piece of cloth that looked like nothing to everybody, she saw a business suit. When she looked at it, something that everybody else would have walked past, she saw a dress to wear to church. And what I tried to get them to see is not only did God give her foresight, but God gave her the ability to take what everybody else would have thrown away and put something together and make it useful. And that's leaning forward, baby. If you can look at a bad situation and say that God can change this situation, if you can look at your own jacked up, messed up situation, that hellhole you call a home, and say God can make it better and put your mind to work, can I tell you, baby, God will make a difference. I'm out.